I'm wearing my Christmas PNG tuber. Well, not wearing because I've literally just got a grey hoodie on in real life and black leggings on at the moment. But yeah, I've got my Christmassy PNG tuber on because it's, you know, December and stuff, and I did do that. I didn't put it on last week. But yeah, how you guys been doing? My week has been going okay. Mainly just like trying to focus on my assignments and stuff. Oh, you know, on Tuesday, okay. So Tuesday morning, I get into uni about like half an hour early because traffic wasn't that bad. Like 25 minutes, half an hour early. And I usually go to there's like a coffee shop in our uni. It's a Costa in our uni, and I usually go meet my friends in there, right? My friends weren't there, so I was like, okay, maybe they're just already sat in the lecture hall, right? So I go to the lecture hall, right? Not there. Door was locked. No one was there, and I was like, okay. And then it gets to probably 5 to 10. I'm trying to think of when my lectures usually start now, but yeah, 5 to 10. It gets about 5 to 10, right? It gets 5 minutes before our lecture is supposed to start. Right, and I feel like I'm talking very quickly, but yeah, it gets to like 5 minutes before our lecture is supposed to start. And literally it's me and like 2 other people, right? So I'm like, oh, is no one coming into the lecture because they're focused on the assignment that's due next week? So that's what I was thinking. But luckily, probably once it gets to like 10, more people to show up. My friends didn't show up, but I assume that's just because they're working on the assignment that's due next week. And then so yeah, oh no, yeah, my like at the end of that lecture, I was like putting my book, and I like taking like physical notes in like actually in class instead of using like a laptop. I don't have my own laptop because like the thing is, if I had my own laptop, I would probably not use it a lot, and I feel like outside of uni, and so it would be sitting there for months in the summer, because I have my computers. I have my computer here, I have my computer at my mum's, I have my Switch, I have my phone, I have my iPad. Like, I'm all set for technology. Technology wise, I'm all set, right? And I also have my DS as well, so like technology wise, I'm all set, right? So I don't need another piece of tech, right? Like usually when I need to use a laptop for, like, if I'm on campus and I need to do uni work or whatever, I'll usually just like borrow the laptop. Our uni lets us has some some lockers that have laptops in them that we can borrow for like up to 5 hours free. And then I think that like every hour you have it past that 5 hour limit, you then have to pay like an additional £5. So for example, if I had it for like 6 hours, I would have to pay £5 because it's 1 hour past the limit, right? So yeah, I usually borrow a laptop when I need it, but during lectures I write my notes by hand, right? And recently I've stopped doing like a whole lot of notes, mainly like in the lectures where it's like, oh yeah, I know I'm not doing the assignment on this topic because I've like almost finished it, and so yeah, I was putting my pen and my book away in my bag, and my pencil case fucking broke. The zip, literally when I zipped it closed, the zip off my pencil case just broke. So I'll have to break the zip more to get all my highlighters and pens out, because I can't be arsed going and buying more pens and shit when it's we've only got 1 week left of the semester before Christmas, so yeah. And then I had my hour break. I was just chilling about. I think we finished our lecture half an hour early. So I got food, and then I got food, just chilled around for like an hour, and then I just worked on one of my assignments for like 20 minutes. So yeah. And then I went up to one of my lectures, right? And usually I go like 10 minutes early just to, you know, have like a chill period before before my actual class, and just to, you know, mentally prepare myself for the class that I have. And usually, you know, it's like usually 5 to 10 minutes early, right? No one else was there, and I was like, okay, we have like 10 minutes before our class. Like, it's literally right next to the stairs. Our class is like right next to the stairs. Like, we have time, right? So I'm just sat there, you know, I'm just like stood there, like, you know, like scrolling Instagram or like Twitter or something. And my program lead comes around, and she's like, oh, is it this room, or is it that room, or is it the room next door? She was like a bit confused. I was like, what's going on? Before I could ask her, like, oh, what class are you teaching? Where do you think you're going? Because at this point, before she had said anything to me about anything else, before she even mentioned anything else, I was thinking, oh, maybe she's teaching another class that's like, because my Tuesday afternoon classes, that we have those like in our lab, and like there's like 2 rooms to the lab. So I was thinking, oh, maybe we have like 2 rooms in our lab, and I was thinking, oh, maybe she's taking some students, maybe she's taking like some like PhD students or master students. I don't know if she even has masters or PhD students. I assume so, but I'm not sure. But I was thinking, oh, maybe she's taking some students into the other side of the lab to use to like have a look at the technology and stuff. But then honestly, I didn't even think about it too much. If I had thought about it, if I had thought about it a little bit more, I'll be like, oh, I would have like thought, if I had thought about it more for like a split second longer, I would have been like, oh no, she doesn't use that technology for her research. She's more qualitative, right? And she does more interviews and stuff. She doesn't really use like the technology that's in like the other part of the lab. You know, the other part of the lab that's like what's it called? I am so bad with like the brain scanning techniques. Oh my god. With the what am I thinking? EEG? Is it? I know fMRI are like actual proper machines, right? And I know we don't have one of those. What's the one? Is it EEG? Whatever. In that side of the class, we have like EEGs and a bit of other stuff that like typically my usual lecturers and for that class and my dissertation supervisor would more use than my program lead, right? So if I had thought about it for like more than like half a second, I would have realized, oh, she's teaching our class. But then she said, after I literally thought, oh, she's taking some students in there, she literally said, oh yeah, I'm taking over your class today. And I was like, oh, you're taking over neuroscience? And that's when I started thinking, why is my program lead taking over my neuroscience class today when I know that's not her like field? I know that's not her field of psychology, right? She, you know, like, it's probably one of the furthest thing. What she studies is like very far away from what I'm doing in neuroscience. I'm not gonna say what she does study because I think it's like a decently, not like a niche area by any means, but like, you know, like when you typically think of psychology, it's not like the very first thing you think of when you think of like a psychology researcher, you know. So that's why I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, so I was like, why is she doing that? And that's when like another person from my class like came up. She was literally like unlocking the door. So yeah, she was like, oh yeah, I'm teaching you, and I was like, oh, you're teaching neuroscience? And she was like, oh yeah, I'm teaching neuroscience. And I was like, oh yeah, it's in this room, the room that I was stood next to, not the other side. I mean, technically, it's like they're both rooms are part of the lab. So yeah, but usually we're in like the bigger part of the lab, the bigger room of the lab, you know. So we went in there, and I don't remember what comment she made. I think she made a comment of like it being like a cramped space or something along those lines, and I just was like, oh yeah, she just went, oh Jesus, and I was just like, oh yeah, we usually have like about 15 people in this class, cause I think what I assumed she was talking about was like, oh, there's not really, I think she said something along the lines of like, oh, there's not a lot of like space in here, or like there's not a lot of like chairs in here or whatever. And I said something along the lines of like, yeah, we don't have that many people in this class, because usually in like normal lectures there's like 70 people ish, I think. That's like at least supposed to be there, I think. And then in like some other modules there's usually like 30 people, right? It's usually like 30 people. And then this is like the smallest class I've been in, like at like the undergraduate level, you know. So yeah, maybe I was in like a similar size class in like some of the modules I did in like one of the modules I did in first year. But I think that again, that was probably like at least 20 people that was supposed to be there. So yeah, we get talking, and usually in this class, like our normal lecturer like doesn't really give a shit if like people are late. So like a lot of people tend to rock up like exactly at the time that the class starts instead of like a few minutes before, or like we'll come like a few minutes after it's supposed to start. So we're just chatting, we're just talking about our dissertations and stuff, and then slowly other people start to come in, and we all start talking about dissertations, and then we get through the PowerPoint. The thing is though, like I said, my program lead isn't really a neuroscience person, so it's very much like we're kind of like telling her what some of the stuff means, more of just like what acronyms mean. For example, I remember at one point she was like, oh, I know that this acronym means the anterior cingulate, the anterior cingulate cortex, right, which is ACC. And then she was like, oh, what does this mean, which was DLPFC. And she was like, I know this part means prefrontal cortex, but I don't know what the other part of it means. And I said, oh, it's the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. So yeah, so we're just talking through the lecture. So yeah, and then we get this lecture was on like morality, and like the neural parts of it behind it. And then we get onto the trolley problem. You know, the one where it's like, there's 5 people on like where it's like, the train track has split into 2 bits, and there's 5 people on one side of the track and there's 1 person on the other side of the track that have been tied down, right? If you don't move the lever, and you can move the lever, but if you don't move it, 5 people are gonna get run over. But if you do move the lever, only 1 person is gonna get run over, right? And like, I think a large portion of the class was like, oh, we're gonna move the lever so that less people are gonna die. And I think 1 person in my class said, oh, I'm not gonna pull the lever because I would not want to like directly kill anybody, which is like, I feel like that's a kind of, I don't remember what exactly she said, but I remember it being like kind of it was like a pretty fair argument, like you don't want to direct to kill people. But then she got into an argument with another member of our class who was like, well, you've kind of still indirectly killed, you've still technically killed people, but you've just killed more people because you've not saved them, you know. And those two were kind of arguing, like, hey, is it moral to kill, they were just on the argument, like, is it moral to kill one person or 5, or you know, or is it moral to kill one person to save 5 people, you know? So yeah, and then there was another one that I cannot remember the name of, but it's basically, it was another like train problem. So on the track, so there's one singular track with like a bridge going over it, right? There's 5 people strapped on the track, and you and like another person are standing on the bridge, right? And if you push this person off the bridge, then it would supposedly stop the train, and then all the other people would survive, right? And the diagram they chose was so funny because it did not look like that, because my program lead had not made this PowerPoint, right? This PowerPoint was made by my usual lecturer's PhD student, right? So the diagram that the PhD student chose showed that the 5 people were not strapped down. So I was like, well, they're not strapped down, so, and they're just like lying there. That's kind of their choice at that point, you know, like they don't look like they've been like forced to be there. That's kind of their choice, you know. So I'm not gonna push the person off when it looks like they are like willingly like lay there. And also yeah, we're all just like, after we had all kind of said like what we'll do, the other 2 people were like still arguing about the trolley problem at this point. But yeah, we were saying like some of the other people were like, we were just saying like how stupid of a problem like the second problem is. I don't remember the name of it, and I can't remember downloading the PowerPoint to see what it's called. But we were just saying how stupid of a problem it is, because other people in class were saying like, oh well, pushing one person in front of a train is not guaranteed to stop it. Like, and I was thinking in my head, like, if you push one person off a train, oh, that's one more person run over. It might slow the train down, but it's not gonna stop it. And that's just gonna kill like 6 people instead of just 5. So it's like, it's not like with the other trolley problem where it's like, oh, you're guaranteed to kill less people if you pull the lever, you know. It's like with the other one, it's like, well, even though it's a hypothetical and they said that it would stop the train if you push the person off, it's not guaranteed. That's not how trains work realistically. I don't know much about trains, I'm gonna be so honest with you, but like that's not how trains work in real life. I'm gonna be so dead ass. So yeah, that's what. So yeah, and then we were just talking, and then we got through the PowerPoint by like pretty much like over an hour early, right? So we were just talking more about dissertations, and my program lead was like, oh, what do you want to do after this degree? Who's going to go on to like further education after? I think what she specifically said was like, oh, who's going to do a postgraduate? I think me and like probably 1 or 2 other people were like, yes, we are definitely doing a postgrad afterwards. And she just started, so yeah, I think quite a few people were like, oh, we don't know, were either like, oh, I don't know what to do after this degree, or they were like, oh, we're gonna get a job straight after bachelor's, right? So yeah, and then my program leader was like asking me like, oh, what areas are you interested in, like what kind of do you want to study at like a master's level? And I was like, oh, like what do you want to like like, oh, like, what degree do you want to, she was kind of asking us, like, oh, what degrees do you want to look at? And I was like, and I was saying, like, oh, I'm interested in, like, cognitive psychology, I'm interested in, like, memory and language, and I was saying, like, I was interested in, like, cyber psychology and, like, social media and AI, but I did say, like, how I do want to do a master's in cyber psychology, but only 2 unis do it, and I don't want to move down south to do it. Like, I don't think moving down south would be realistic for me, especially because, like, I will probably be working like way less like a master's level. And even with all the stuff even with all the money that I'm gonna save up with, you know, because I'm gonna try and use as much money as I can from my bachelor's, like, student loans to kind of help me fund my PhD, and to like, anything I work over summer, I'm gonna save up for masters, because I don't know how guaranteed it is for me to get a master's student loan, because I know you kind of get, like, you're most likely gonna get like 4 years, like 4 years-ish of student loans from SFC, or, you know, SFE even, not SFC, SFC is Student Finance Company, I think, but SFE is Student Finance England. So yeah, I'm not guaranteed, like, but I don't know, yeah, you know what, I think you are kind of guaranteed to get 4 years of student loans, and I've used 3 of those years for my bachelor's, so yeah, I'm gonna apply for that soon at some point. Once I get these assignments done, I'm gonna apply for master's student loan and for a master's, well, when the student loan applications open, which will probably be around March time. So yeah, but yeah, I know that with master's student loans, like, it's like a lot different to bachelor's student loans, so I'm just gonna try and have, like, a bit saved up, because I know with master's student loans, it's like, I think the max is similar to what I'm getting now on the minimum bachelor's. So I'm not too sure because I've heard, like, conflicting things from different people, because I remember talking to my friend, like, a few months ago. This is a friend who, by the way, whose, like, partner is on his second master's, and she was saying how, like, you don't really get much of a student loan for masters, if at all, and so you kind of save. And I was like, and I like literally said, like, hey, you do get a master's student loan, like, I looked into it, you do get a postgrad student loan, blah 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 blah. But she was like, no, you don't really get that much of a student loan, if at all, you know. But to be fair, that's her partner who's doing a master's is on his second master's. So, like, in England, typically, like, a second degree isn't funded unless it's like, oh, you know, did first year of one degree, dropped out, and then, you know, going to do, like, a full bachelor's, a full 3 year bachelor's, like, later on. Because that's what one of my friends did. She dropped out, I think, after, like, semester 1, or, like, during semester 1 of her first degree. Never went back to continue that one. I don't know what she was going to do in. But then came back, like, 9 years later, and is now in her 3rd year of doing psychology bachelor's. So yeah. So I do want to have a bit saved up for my masters. So yeah. And I don't really think it's feasible for me to move down south, mainly because I don't want to move out just yet. I want to, have a bit more saved up. And have a bit more saved up, and before I move out, and then also like, I don't want to be like, I'll probably have to get some flatmates or whatever. I don't want to be rooming with like potentially strangers, because at that point, the majority of my friends are probably not going to be doing postgraduate degrees, or if they are going to do postgraduate degrees, they've decided to take like a gap year or like a couple gap years. I know one of my friends who said previously that she wanted to do her master's in forensic psychology next year. She decided to take a gap year, and I know when we were talking about masters the other day, that I know one of the other people who said that they might do a master's said that she's gonna also probably take a gap year. So it's like, I'm probably like one of the only people, probably the only person out of my friend group who's like just gonna go straight out of bachelor's into a master's, which is it's gonna be so weird. It's gonna feel so weird to be like one of the only people in my friend group to go on and do a master's degree. And I was gonna bring up how to my program lead how like one of our other lecturers said like in like first year, or like towards like the end of first year, I think, that he was gonna try and get a cyber psychology degree approved at our uni for when we graduate. I have heard nothing since. I mean, to be fair, I haven't really had him since first year, even not third year. But I haven't really had him since the first year. But I do have him next semester. So what I'm probably gonna do is, if we end up talking about masters, ask him about a cyber psych masters and where he's getting with that. But I think what I'm probably gonna end up doing is just doing the general psychology masters, because I know for a fact that one is like, we do 2 general psychology degrees at my uni. One is BPS accredited, one is not BPS accredited. I'm gonna do the BPS accredited degree, also because it's BPS accredited, and two, it's a shorter degree. It's 12 months. The non-BPS accredited one is 18 months. So and plus it's like, I don't know if I want to do a PhD after I want to do my masters. I think what I'm probably going to do is do a masters, work for a bit, and then see if I want to do a PhD. I mean, and I know at my uni that it's like, well, one of my lecturers, my program lead even said like, oh, our PhD program isn't really funded. Like, she's trying to get one of her students like partially funded, but it's like, doesn't seem like it's common for PhD students to get funding. And it's like, that's probably going to be hard, because I assume you still have to pay tuition and stuff on a PhD course. So that is going to be like, what? That's like 3 or 4 years on a PhD. That's God. $9.5 grand a year. I'm just going to go, how much is that? I'm just going to go 9.5 grand. I know it's a little bit more than that, but still. Times 3. So that's 28,500 for 3 years. And 38 grand for 4 years. How can anyone fucking afford that? Like, and that is just tuition. Like, that's insane. How anyone, especially in this economy, like, afford tuition. I mean, I may just have, like, a skewed view of, like, what a PhD looks like, because I don't know anyone that has done a PhD. But it's like, I'm not going to do a PhD at a uni where it's not going to be funded. So, yeah, I might see if I can have a look at different unis, see if they're PhD programs. If I do want to do a PhD, I'll have a look at different unis, see whether their PhD programs are funded, and see where I can go from there, because it's like, I don't want to do a non-funded PhD, you know? I mean, at this moment in time, I doubt I'm gonna do a PhD within the next few years. So, like, I don't really have anything to, like, worry about in terms of funding. But yeah, because it's just, like, even though I do have, like, a decent bit of money, like, it's like, you know, I am, like, in a very privileged, at the moment, I'm in a very, like, privileged spot with my degree, because, you know, I'm still staying at home for my degree. You know, I don't have to go food shopping or anything, you know, like, I don't have to buy anything to, like, I don't have to buy any cleaning products or, like, anything to, like, maintain a house. I don't have to pay rent, right? And even though I'm on the minimum, I only usually use it for, like, buying lunch. So I can just, like, save, you know. And why has this decided to lag? Be twitching, you know. Can my Twitch load, please? My bitrate is fine. There we go. If you don't know, if you're new to stream, I usually have my stream on in the background, to monitor, like, audio and stuff, and it's lagging. I don't know why. My bitrate is fine. Maybe it's a Twitch issue, but yeah, all my stats are fine, so I don't know what particularly is going on. So, is it an internet issue? I don't think it's an internet issue, because if it was, then my bitrate would be going down. Let me get off my phone. Okay, my stream on my phone seems to be fine. So maybe it's a browser issue. Let me reopen Twitch on my browser and see. So yeah, this might cause a little bit of lag, but it shouldn't cause too much. So yeah. Okay, hopefully that's fine. I'll probably talk for like another... What? Where's Conan? Where's my AirPods? Because I could just have it on my phone. There they are. I could just have it on my phone, because I think it's working on mobile. Maybe it's just like I think it might just be a browser issue. Let me just get it off my phone. It's looking at one of the sides of my AirPod, one of the sides of my headphones isn't working. So yeah, this feels weird. Let me see. Oh wait. My AirPods are not connecting to my phone. That's just the issue with AirPods. They don't properly connect to your phone. So yeah, this is great. Can you connect to my phone, please, so I can monitor audio? Wait, what? Okay, now it's loading on my phone. I mean, I think it's fine. What is going on? I mean, generally, I think it's fine. Wait a minute. Let me get up Twitch Inspector. Because I think this might just be like a... I think this might just be a... Twitch issue? Let me see. Why is Twitch Inspector taking so long to load up? Okay, let me see. Twitch Inspector. Where is it? Okay, I might just yap for a little bit more before we get into Cabernet, because I obviously don't want to get into Cabernet. And my stream is being a dick. So, yeah, I was planning to get some clips today because I don't have that many clips, but we can get clips on Sunday. Why isn't Twitch Inspector loading? Yeah, my stream is being a bit of a dick. I'm like, YouTube just loaded. Maybe it's a Twitch issue. Maybe it's just a Twitch issue. It might just be a Twitch server issue, actually. So, yeah, let me see. Yeah, because I have it on auto, so maybe, yeah, maybe it's just that. So, yeah, maybe it's just that. You can tell I haven't streamed in a week. Of course, all the issues arise when I haven't streamed in a week. So, yeah. And Twitch Inspector is just not loading. It's just not loading. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, maybe... Wait a minute. Would my stream load better using my data? Question mark. Rather than internet, because that then reduces the load on like my actual internet. So yeah, and I have Cabernet open. So yeah, I'm gonna have it on like low volume. I think it's working fine. But yeah, I know. Yeah, I decided that I'm gonna resubmit one of my assignments that I've just submitted last week because I realized I didn't add in any theories, and I was even though it doesn't say in the learner outcomes, it says like, hey, you're supposed to use evidence and theory. And to be fair, a lot of those stuff I've already written can just be like slightly adjusted to like what's the word? Like, can you just be slightly adjusted to fit in with like the theories? So yeah, because there's like 2 theories out there that I'm like mainly using. One of them I've already technically used on accident, right? And then another one I can just easily fit into what I've said. So I just need to kind of reduce my word count by a little bit and then fit in. And my stream does seem to be working better on my phone rather than my computer. So I think this might just be an issue of maybe my internet is not working as good today. Like, obviously it's fine enough to stream, but maybe it's not good enough to have me streaming and then having my own stream open at the same time. I'm so glad I'm not streaming like on Chaoscraft today or anything, or like a or like an internet game, or like a game that requires internet, you know. So yeah, glad I'm using a Cabernet. Yeah, not tomorrow, Sunday actually, since this would probably be, I don't know why I haven't charged my AirPods in a while. Actually, that's probably why they won't connect to my phone, but they're always dodgy, like connecting to my phone. So yeah, that's why I partially prefer my headphones over my AirPods, because my headphones connect better, and and it's not just like, it's not like, oh, Apple headphones versus Apple AirPods. This is like Apple AirPods versus Sony headphones. I have Sony headphones. I also have Beats headphones, and those lasted me a good while. Okay, my Beats. I had 2 sets of Beats headphones. Those lasted me a while. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, I used to have. I had one pair of headphones, one pair of Beats headphones. One of the things literally like broke off. Then I got another pair, and then there's nothing really anything wrong with my Beats headphones. Actually, it's just that they kind of just like look quite worn. So my mom was like, hey, I'm gonna get you some new headphones, and then I haven't used my Beats headphones in a while. I used to connect them to my computer at my mum's, but now I just don't do that anymore. I usually just take my headset to my mum's if I need to, but my mum has said that she's gonna get me like headphones for my computer for Christmas. Well, I asked her to get some, and she was like, yeah, sure. So yeah, speaking of my computer at my mum's, it decided to shit itself the other day. Like last Sunday, it decided to kill itself. So last Sunday, as you're aware, I was not here streaming. I was at my mum's. I went upstairs to, go like play like Minecraft or Stardew on my computer or something, right? I go to my computer, everything starts loading up fine, and then the monitor is like, nope, not gonna turn on. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it comes up saying, hey, check the video source, please check the video source, all the cables are plugged in properly, right? So I changed the video source, I checked the cables are plugged in properly, they're all fine, they're all working fine. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I literally only have 2 video sources on my PC as well. I have HDMI and then another one, I don't remember what the other one is. But I changed between them, nothing works. I try and like unplug and replug in some wires, doesn't work. So I go downstairs and I'm like, Mom, my computer, my monitor's not working. And my stepdad comes up and checks it out. He thinks that basically like the video card, whatever the fuck like processes the information to send to the monitor is like, the video card, whatever, is like it'll turn on and then just immediately shut off after like 10 seconds. And then so he's like, okay, whatever powers that probably needs replacing. So we ordered a new PSU, I think, like another power unit. That does nothing. So it's potentially possible that I might need a new entire motherboard, which is not great if I need a new entire motherboard. I'm just hoping that I don't need new RAM, because we've all seen how pricey new RAM is, right? It's getting a bit expensive, because of AI data. fucking AI data centers are using up buying up all the RAM, and now it's like a bajillion times more expensive, which is like, so I am hoping that I don't need more RAM. At the moment, the storage stuff, that's no issue. At the moment, I swear though, at the moment, I am blaming the Microsoft Store, because the other week, on Friday, I was playing with one of my mates, and we were trying to play Roblox, right? And it was telling me, oh, you need to re-download Roblox. So I'm like, okay, I try and re-download it. It's like, oh, you have to download it from the Microsoft Store. I download it from the Microsoft Store. Then the next day, it's killed. It was fine on Friday. It was fine Friday? Oh no, it was Saturday. It was Saturday that it was I'm not working, not Sunday. But yeah, Friday, fine. Saturday decided to die. I was just checking my audio was fine for a second there. But yeah, so at this moment I'm blaming the Microsoft Store, and so yeah. So yeah, it's stupid though. But yeah, so yeah, my dad currently has my computer tower. He said he's gonna have a look at it on Sunday. So yeah, hopefully it's fine hopefully he manages to sort it out on Sunday. I know my dad has a bunch of like extra, my dad probably has a bunch of like extra computer bits. So hopefully, because like, fun facts about my dad, he has been the one that's been like replacing and upgrading my computer for like ever since I got my computer, right? I think I got my computer probably when I was about 10. I think I got my own computer when I was 10, right? And he's just been like upgrading it ever since, you know. So yeah, sadly I don't have like all the worlds and stuff I had when I was like 10, because it's like my dad has been like upgrading storage and stuff since then. I have not needed any new storage systems recently for this computer, because I have like 1 terabyte for this computer that I'm streaming on right now. This is the computer my dad's. So yeah, this is the computer that works fine. So yeah, so this is the computer that works fine. I have a terabyte. I have 1 terabyte on this computer, and then I have half a terabyte on the other computer. The thing is though, the thing is, right, so when I was downloading the other night, I have a feeling I have like 2 drives on the other computer that I can like download stuff to, that I can like easily look in the files of, right? I think one of my drives, the newest one, is an SSD, and then I don't know what the other one is that I can like check the local files of, right? Within my folders, right? Within like File Explorer, right? So I'm thinking that Roblox downloaded onto the like old drive that doesn't really have a lot of memory on it. It has like I think it had like 3 to 5 gigs on it. Let me have a look. Let me see, what is the size of Roblox? Because I don't expect it to be like that big. Microsoft. Wait a minute. Roblox file size on PC. I don't expect it to be that big. 1.3 gigs for initial file size. Caches around 300. Wait a minute. Oh, this was like 4 years ago. Wait a minute. On an updated one. So let me see. I'll just look at this one. Can't be asked. I'll just look at the Reddit thread from like a few years ago. And my data is shit. I mean, it does depend on what game you're on. So about 1 gig. Still very gig for entire Roblox folder to it, and then it depends on what your caches and stuff. Yeah, so I don't expect the storage to have affected it, because like I said, I had like 3 to 5 gigs on the old drive, right? So yeah, and I'm gonna try and see, is my Twitch stream gonna load? I know Google took a little bit of time to load. Like not massively, but like maybe an additional like second or 2. Okay. Channel. Let me see. Let me close Twitch my phone. See. Let me see. Okay, we'll probably go until the ad is over, just to keep monitoring my stream and stuff. And yeah, my internet is not. Yeah, my internet is not doing good with both stream and stream in the background. So yeah, we're staying on data to load up my Twitch stream. I wish my AirPods were charged. So yeah, you know what? We'll get into Cabernet.